morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. We are at Jay's Breakfast Club as we are every Monday morning for what?
Silver Monday.
And if you haven't been on this planet and you have no idea what Silver Monday is, blasphemy. But I digress. This is the time where we actually share information and resources with our community, specifically targeted towards our population 60 and better. But what we've learned is that this information benefits the community as a whole. And here at Jay's Breakfast Club, our mission is simply inspiring positivity through love, doing what we love, where we love, and the people we love, and that's all of you. I am not Rosie, but I am Rosie Jr. She's still on the mend. Keep her in your prayers, and she is slowly recovering. She's in great spirits. She has some pains from now and then, so just keep her in your prayers, and hopefully she'll be back as soon as next week, and if not, definitely by the beginning of April. So get used to seeing this beauty face of Rosie Jr. So today is the second Monday of the month, and as always, we welcome our topic of education. And our guests today are the Gary Community School Corporation. And I'm going to defer it over to Dr. McNulty so that she can open up and we can get this party started. Dr. McNulty, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here, and I'm so glad to hear your mom's doing better. I was going to ask you about that. Please tell her we've been sending our prayers her way.
Keep them coming.
We will. Okay, well, we have lots of great things to share, as always, about the things that are happening within the Gary Community School District. First and foremost, I wanted to remind everybody that we have graduation coming up on June 5th at 4 o'clock, and it's going to be at the Railcats this year. So we want to thank the Railcats for allowing us to host it there. We think it'll be a wonderful venue. We're having it at the Railcats because our football field finally is going to be installed, and that is starting April 18th. Yay! And it'll take about 60 days for the football turf to be completed, so that would be close towards graduation, so we didn't want to push it. So we'll have it at the Railcats this year, and then next year back at our own home field, so to speak. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. 4 o'clock on June 5th. We also wanted to make sure that parents, guardians understand and know that we are doing lots of FAFSA forms right now and college tours. We've taken a bunch of kids to IUN, also to Bloomington last week. We have several more set up to other college universities. So if you're interested in taking a tour, please come to the main office or see one of your guidance counselors, because we are setting those up and assisting with filling out applications. And we want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to fill out for scholarships as well. We have many students applying for scholarships and have already received them. So please come and see us so that we can help facilitate that. Also, we are signing up for classes for next year. So 8th graders have the opportunity to sign up for those CTE, Career Technical Education classes now, so they can earn credits before they get into high school. So we strongly encourage those 8th graders to take a summer class this summer. You can enter into high school with up to 4 credits already, so please look into doing so. And it's also a great opportunity to explore some of those classes at the Career Center to see what you might be interested in as you pursue some of those tracks into your high school tenure. And then the rest of the students, you need to start working again with your guidance counselors to start selecting some of those electives and core classes that we have. We have been meeting with a bunch of the students at Westside who have been asking for more electives to be offered, and we are so appreciative of their voices, and we want to thank them for that. Some of the things that some of the high school students are asking for is psychology, sociology, etc., and we agree. So we are on hot pursuit of looking for some additional teachers that can teach some of those different elective classes that we haven't had the opportunity to offer in a while. And speaking of Westside, I just want to say everything is going well at Westside. Yeah, things are well. We don't need to worry about the turmoil that you'd heard that was happening outside of school that has nothing to do with what's happening inside of school. Things are going well. We have had, I think, 5 student meetings with the students and several of their parents. And I'm actually proud of the students for sitting down and talking with us and having a voice and talking in a positive, productive way. That's the way to get things done and to have an open dialogue. And so we're having good conversations, plan on continuing to do so. And out of it, last week came the student versus staff basketball game. I understand the staff won. I'm not going to. So I'm sure they want to repeat. But also, again, those classes and those offerings that they want to have happen. So we're working hard on that on behalf of the students. I also want to say that we are doing enrollment as we speak for the pre-K. I know some of you were at the pre-K with me about a week ago. We had the opportunity to read books to the students for Dr. Seuss Day, which was awesome. It was the highlight of my day. So enrollment is open right now for that awesome school. It's free, a free pre-K that helps get literacy skills ready and pre-skills ready for kindergarten. I highly encourage you, if you're interested, to look at enrolling your student in pre-K. We have limited spots, so please, if you're interested, come and fill out the enrollment paperwork. And then registration is always open, but our big campaign for registration starts next week for all the rest of our schools. We definitely need you to register early so that we can plan how many slots are available per classroom. And again, when we're looking at those elective classes, we know how many seats we need, how many teachers we need to hire, etc. So parents, it should be much easier this year. If you're here this year, all you have to do is go on your Skyward app on your phone and say, yes, my kid's coming back, and fill out your registration form. Much, much simpler. We will be pushing out information through that Skyward app to all of our families here next week, but we wanted to make sure that you knew that that was on the horizon. I'm going to stop there because I got a lot more and introduce my friend and colleague, Miss Toni Mitchell, who's a Gary native and colleague of mine. She's going to talk about some of the work that she's doing on behalf of Gary Community Schools and our ESSER funds.
Before, I think we have one question for you,
sorry.
Dr. McNulty.
For the pre-K program,
Yes.
do you have any eligibility requirements?
3 to 5 years old.
Okay, and nothing about socioeconomic
Nope.
or
Nothing.
cognitive ability?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
Yes. Good question, though. Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Toni Mitchell. I'm the ESSER project manager for the Gary Community Schools. Just a little background about me. I've been in education for over 26 years now. Started as a teacher. I've been a principal at both middle school, elementary school, and I've worked in central office for a number of years. And I'm currently working for the Gary Community Schools, making sure that all the projects that you see happening around the school, that I'm the background person. I handle all of the paperwork, all of that work that has to be done to set a project up for approval from either Paige or from our board, our school board. I handle all that paperwork. So a lot of effort goes into outreach with the persons that are the vendors that are selected to do the work on those projects. A lot of communication takes place with them right now. If you look on the Gary Community website, under community, you will note that we have at least maybe 2 bids out. I think one is coming down. One of the bids that we have for proposal right now is for our external digital marquees. That's so that every school will have a new marquee that's digital, that can communicate with the community information about what's happening with that school, both internally and externally. So anyone out there who's interested and who can fulfill the obligation of putting those marquees together and putting them in place, we welcome your bid. We also have bids out there for locks, for the locks of schools, so that they can be upgraded, so that everyone in the school is safe. That everyone in the school feels secure and protected while they're there. It's been several years since the locks have been upgraded the doors themselves. So we're in the process of making sure that that is taking place. If you've seen some of the activity that has taken place around the schools, particularly the tennis courts, the football field, all of that has gone through me with the paperwork being done so that it's accurate. We don't want to face auditors when they come back looking and asking questions. We want to make sure that we have fulfilled our obligation and crossing every T and dotting every I to make sure that that information is correct. The projects that you see occurring, we have one in process now where our attempt is going to be, we haven't gotten it approved yet, but we are looking at the furniture in all of the classrooms throughout the Gary schools so that there's an upgrade on that furniture that makes it conducive to the learning environment that we aspire to have. That means that students will be more equipped to collaborate, to effectively debate issues, subject matter, promote science in the classroom. We're working diligently with Makerspace to make all of that happen. We have some thinkers in our school district, and we want to provide an environment that is conducive to allow them to engage in discussion and to think sometimes on their feet, to think with others, to come up with conclusions. Forward to all of that transpiring within the Gary Community Schools. Some of the other projects we have are, I said the locks, furniture, football field, the roofing. Yeah, the roofing is a big one. It's done in phases. So we have the gym floor. Those things are taking place internally. We have painting going on in the schools. There are just so many projects that are happening simultaneously. So it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of communication. I can't emphasize the
She
paperwork
runs when I come.
enough.
But,
Yeah.
I know coming down the pike is going to be asphalt at the rest of the schools. I know we
Yeah.
did West Side already, but the rest of the schools have now been assessed and will be those will be going out for bid as well. Some of the other playgrounds, we've done several playgrounds
Yeah.
already.
We've done
At the
two.
elementary, we've got a couple more to do this summer, so they'll be ready to go for the fall. And to just to piggyback on her furniture conversation, because I know I've talked about this a couple of times, but the furniture is the same probably furniture that we've had for 20 years, which is not unlike most school districts. But we have, a teacher standing at the front of the desk, a typical traditional classroom, and then rows of desks. And schools are looking to change that in today's setting so that you have more of a collaborative learning centers.
Yeah.
So more round tables around the classroom. And not rows of desks. You might have some desks that can stand up, like, at a regular workstation. So if a student can't sit all day, and I'm one of those students, you can raise your desk. You might have a different type of chair. You might have kids who can sit on the floor and work or read, and the teachers. And you have some computer stations set up around. But it's more of a mobile, moving around the classroom into centers, project-based learning. Yes.
Our students, do students get a chance to try this out? Are
Yes.
you involving them?
Yes, we've had vendors on site and encouraged students to come and see. We asked the teachers to bring some of the students. This was at Westside. It's in the process now, so the principals are involved. The vendors are contacting them right now to set up time frames to meet with them to go on site and discuss what furniture might be more suitable.
So they're bringing.
The principals are putting together their teams. Parents are part of those teams. So if you know someone that is interested in becoming a part of that team with the principal, ask them to reach out to their principal.
I think the principals are engaged in their PTAs at their
Yes.
buildings and their staff advisory.
They have teams, yeah.
Yeah, but the vendors are bringing samples and bringing and setting them up at each school so the kids can go down, look at them, sit in them, look at the different types of desks. Certainly the desks will look, or not the desks, the centers will look different at the high school level than they will at the elementary. So there's two different kind of frameworks that we're looking at. And then they have pictures of all of them in as well. So we're excited. Our goal is to have this done by the fall. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah. But it's a big order. But we're really excited to be able to refresh all of our classrooms and bring them up to speed with modern stuff that they'll be able to use for a long time to come. So we're excited about that.
Yes.
Dr. McNulty, I just want to say for those watching and those here, if you're interested in those bids that she just listed, go to GarySchools.org, click on Community and
Yes.
Doing Business with Gary
Gary
Schools.
Schools.
Because people say, well, I didn't see it. Where do I find it? Community. Okay.
Community
Yes.
link, yes. Any other bids that you want to talk about or process?
Not right now.
Okay.
We got a lot out there.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I just
We have
want
a
to.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Fifth graders.
Yes.
I think one of the things that has happened in our district before is that there has not been adequate communication between the transition from elementary to
Right.
middle school.
Yes.
And our students can be our best ambassadors.
Yes.
You know, and I know that was something that was lacking.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So we've actually talked about this a lot. And so some of the things that we've put into place is we've had our middle school students now go over to the elementary to meet the ones that are transitioning over, the fifth graders, and introduce themselves. We've also had our sports teams have come over and met with those students as well, and they all took names of students and they're writing them postcards so that if you've gone over as a sixth grader to the elementary, you can say, hey, Josh, it was nice to meet you. I look forward to seeing you at the middle school this year. So they have a connection and a friend or a peer mentor when they come over there. We're also taking them all on a tour. So we have buses set up during the day towards the end of the school year. So the elementary kids who are going to be in middle school will be able to walk around, see the classes, meet the teachers, that type of thing. And we're doing the same at the 8th grade to the 9th grade level. So that they'll have.
You said the end of the school year. Many parents who are very active in their children's life, they're making their decisions now. They're not waiting until the end of the school year.
True,
That has
yeah.
been a problem, so.
So maybe back it up a little bit, yeah.
We need to back that up.
Okay, yeah. So those are some of the activities that we're trying to do to get the kids engaged. We also sent out, you might have received it already in the mail, a flyer to the whole community. I think we sent out 32,000 mailers, so hopefully if you haven't got it, it's coming soon. And this is a report to the public. We wanted to tell everybody how we're using the referendum dollars. We do have the referendum ambassador committee that we meet with frequently, and we talk with them about the monies that have been receipted in, which only come every 6 months, and then what's being receipted out, and then the projects that are being paid for with those funds, and future projects to come, and then gathering some feedback from them on ideas as we move forward. So we'll pass this out if you haven't received it, but this did go out to the community, and I wanted to make sure to share that with everybody today. And it's on our website. Thank you. Okay, so the big thing I want to talk about today is, and again, we have posted this on our website, but I definitely want to talk about, we have made academic growth this year, and I'm super excited to be able to share that, when you come into a school district and you're talking about you got to fix the roofs and you got to fix the plumbing and you got to fix, furniture and the things like that, we have done that. So we feel like we've put a good foundation into place. We have worked really hard with our teachers and our paraprofessionals and have done copious amounts of professional development with our teachers so that they're ready to go with the new curriculum. We've adopted all new reading curriculum, all new math curriculum. We're working on new science. Curriculum, etc. So we're putting all the bricks in place, and I started Late Start Wednesday, as you know, so that the teachers can have every week professional development on how to use the instructional technology in the classroom, how to use the new tools that are being given to them, how to use that data, data that we're expecting for them to use so that they can regroup those students quickly and not wait till the end of the school year. So if you're testing your 8 students and 6 students got it but 2 didn't, you got to remediate those 2 students. But we need to know that now and not in June. That doesn't help us in June. So we're quickly assessing students now all the time throughout the school year so that we can regroup and remediate as we move forward. So with all of that in place, at the beginning of the school year, we took our iReady formative test, and then we took it again here recently, and I'm very proud of, on behalf of the students, the staff, and the parents, because they're a part of this as well, to say that all of our test scores went up 10 to 15% across the district, which is huge during a pandemic. So kudos to everybody who's worked so hard, and I fully expect to see that type of a growth again at the end of the school year when we do the end of the school testing assessment. I know we still have a long ways to go, but what we're putting in place is working, and it's going to continue to take off. So I'm very proud of everybody. So good job, good job. Yeah, that is huge, you know. In some of the classrooms, we've seen like double growth in math. Like some kids have gone up 2 grade levels already in reading. So that's gigantic. Teachers are doing a fantastic job. Okay, track season, it has started, everybody, so watch for our great track teams. I think we've got over 55 girls who have signed up for track. We've got girls running everywhere. So please come out and support them. I think it's going to be a wonderful track season. I did want to say that we have spring break that starts next week, so please be mindful that the students will be out, but we still have our clubs and our sports happening at our school. We will be providing transportation to students to and from for their for all their sporting events, not just track. So, any questions for me? I know I've just talked a lot. Yes?
What are any of your schools doing anything to celebrate Pi Day? I
think
mean, it was a big thing, but
I think our elementary and middle school are, but I don't know, I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is, but I'm sure they are. Yeah, the math folks. Yes.
For those watching and listening, Toni, can you tell us a little bit about what we look for to become a vendor, or what's the process if I want to become a vendor of the Gary Schools?
It really is dependent upon the dollar amount.
Okay.
So if you're doing a huge project, it usually requires a bid. And what happens is the proposal goes on the website, and then the vendors will submit the information that is required. Once they submit the information, usually a team of people, they look at it, they view it, and then there's a rubric that's used and to evaluate who they feel might be most conducive for whatever the project is. And then based on that, let's just say there are 3 vendors and we only need 1. Whoever gets the highest score based on the rubric, then that company or that vendor is selected to fulfill the obligation.
But local vendors get extra points just for being a local vendor. They get
Yeah. So we've had local vendors who have applied for jobs, as long as, and usually it connects with the buildings and grounds person, who they kind of get together and have discussion, because I'm not the professional on electricity. I haven't built anything, but the expertise is through buildings and grounds usually, or the coach. I work with them a lot to put them together, like the auditorium where they're redoing the seating and that. Then that was Mark Spencer, who works with the chosen or the selected vendor to fulfill the obligation there.
Yes.
the Career Center bathrooms, have they been upgraded?
Have they been upgraded as far as, I mean, they've been painted and they've been all new paper towel holders, soap dispensers, that type of thing. Doors have all been repaired. Yeah. Yes.
Just really quickly too, how long does the vetting process for a vendor typically take? So if they were to put in a bid saying, I want to do business with a school corporation, how long does it typically take that vetting process?
It depends again on how intense the project is. Like the one we have up now, For the marquees, it's been maybe like 30 days that it's there. And usually we try not to extend it beyond that. Some are quicker. It may be a week or two that it sits out there. And then once we get a hit on it, then we go into the mode of selection. So, yeah.
And we typically, if it's a big project, we try to have a pre-bid meeting for anybody who's interested so that they can come and hear about the project, hear about the scope of work. We can answer questions informally so they get a better grasp of what the project is, and then we can, share with them exactly what we're looking for. Then they can leave and put together their proposal and submit it formally so that we make sure we're on the same page. So
a lot of times that's embedded in the RFP itself. So they make the contact with the lead person so that they can set up a time if it's necessary for them, like the marquees, to come on site to see the location, identify what might be best, talk with the principal, make some decisions like that. So that usually happens before.
Dr. McNulty, Toni, can you also talk about how the pandemic has an impact when you talk about supplies and things like that? Sometimes people think about, okay, the bid has been awarded, okay, now put the roof on tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the case.
yeah, it's been very, very, very difficult. I can't emphasize that enough. We want all this stuff done tomorrow,
Yeah.
but getting contractors for the scope of the works that we need, it has been very difficult. In fact, I met with some architects just about a week ago, and Crown Point has got a $300 million projects that they're doing. Duneland has got $200 million worth of project. Portage Schools has got $128 million worth of projects, and we've got $60 million. We were like, we got 60. But when you're talking about 300 and 200, then they start looking at the projects. Ours is not as big of a scope to them. And so when you're looking at roofs or these other things, we're not as big ticket item as some of those other projects. So we've had to be creative in trying to say, we're going to break this up and have 3 different roofing companies as opposed to 1, because we can't get 1 because they're doing all these other projects. So yes, and then getting the supplies here is another whole thing. And then now with the fuel stuff, getting the stuff here so it's just one thing after another. So but we're still diligently working on it, and we're still getting projects done. It's just not as quick as we'd like, for sure.
Yeah.
I can take host privilege then. I can talk about construction.
There you go.
So I totally get it. My budget trust is not 60 million.
It's not?
Yet.
Okay.
However, it actually opens up the door to the next question.
Yeah.
Indiana plan. There are a lot of different institutions doing construction training. Where is the Career Center with construction as a viable trade for our youth? Because that gives a great opportunity to come out of high school directly into a craft and making money.
Right. Yeah, we totally agree. So we have added several strands at the Career Center to help try to fill that pipeline. We've met with the journeymen. We met with them again actually here in the last 2 weeks. And again, the issue is trying to find somebody that will take that position. So we have to hire somebody in construction that would be that workplace specialist teacher for us, or a journeyman for us in electrical, plumbing, construction trades. And so we have those jobs posted. If anybody's interested in either a part-time, it can be a half a day, or a full-time, they would then come work for us. You don't have to be a teacher. We'll help you get a workplace specialist license, and then we would get them in place and start that strand. But it's finding that person who wants to come and work at our facility.
Are you open to partnerships with the different unions and the different trades?
We work with all of them. Yep.
No, I'm actually saying in regards to training.
Yeah.
So right now, across the board, we have these challenging issues with employment. Where there are opportunities available, we're having difficulty finding people to put in them. So let's just say, for instance, and I'm not saying I don't know whatever, we're just going to use the electricians as an example.
Yeah.
So the electrician union has viable folks that are part of that union that do training.
Right.
Now, because they're limited, you're limited, can there be such a program that you all work together? So if, let's say, for instance, the electrical union, they're doing their training, that instead of, until you can find somebody viable to be in the school, that those kids can be bused or whatever to where the program is working and where there's active involvement, so that we can be proactive in this process and not just reactive, waiting on somebody to actually raise their hand and say, yeah, I do want that job.
Right.
But until then, not to hold up the progress.
Right. So yes, we met with all of the unions again about 2 weeks ago, and it was the electrical, the plumbers, the crafters, the painters union. There was like 6 of the unions locally that we met with, and so we're trying to come up with solutions that would, again, have a pipeline. At this point, our students can't go to their training facility. They would have to send someone to our training facility because of liability purposes, and they want the students out of high school. But we are trying to figure out a way to make that happen, and they are looking for someone close to retirement at all 3 of those places that we met with, so that they could send them our way. Yeah.
We're hiring.
We're always hiring. We have let's see, 6 different teacher job fairs that are happening currently that we are sending our principals to. So I know that IUN has one, Ball State, IU Bloomington, etc. We're also going to Chicago, Indianapolis, Peoria, and looking to recruit great folks that would like to come and work with our students. Again, we're looking to add electives. So we have our principals have a laundry list of people that they will be actively going and interviewing and hopefully bringing back some great qualified people to work with our students for next year. But always on our website, look for open positions because they're always posted there, and we're, as all school districts, looking for people to come work with us. Yes.
When it comes to curriculum, are there subjects, you talked about the electives, are there subjects that deal with mental health that children, that the youth could take that they could actually get credit for other than psychology? I mean, something like even peer mediation or something like that. Do they have anything in the state curriculum guide that our youth could get credit for that would help them in a double way?
Yeah, so we have a couple different things that the students can actively participate in, and again, we're going to be continuing to expand those options. This year we started Restorative Justice, and that's still growing and expanding, but it's a great way for students who are having conflict at school to have peer mediation opportunities, have anger management groups, girls groups, boys groups, that type of thing, and that's been successful, but continuing to grow out. And then we also started and are continuing to refine mindfulness across the district. And mindfulness is simply just a way of kind of being mindful of your body and how you're feeling and your emotions. It's been particularly successful at our elementary level so far. My own kids personally use it at their school as well. For example, at one of our elementary schools, we had a lot of bus behaviors happening at the end of the school day. So one of our principals made a video of himself practicing deep breathing for 3 minutes at all the classrooms before they get on the bus. And so at the end of the day, the lights went down, they had quiet time, the kids practiced deep breathing. Now I know that sounds silly, but once the kids did that and kind of we saw our bus behaviors go down significantly on that one particular school. So now we're starting to implement that district-wide. But doing activities like that, where you kind of get up and have a brain break during the middle of the day and do things with your body and deep breathing, there's all sorts of activities that are planned like that. It helps keep the behaviors down. So those are things that we're implementing, and going to be implementing, again, some of those electives at the high school level for the students. Yeah. Linda?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm reading your information. I see you have after-school programs, but in general, what are we doing for learning loss with the ESSER funds? And how effective is it? Are kids staying after school?
Yeah, we have lots of kids staying after school for math and reading. We have tutoring. We've partnered with several of our community partners. So we have City Connects that work with us. We have Edgewater. We have Urban League. We have the YWCA, and they're all helping us with the tutoring for those students. And then we also provide transportation for those students home as well, and meals. So it is working. I think that's also helping with those scores that are going up. We are going to have an extended summer school again this summer. We did that last summer. We found it to be very effective. We had our largest turnout for summer school, I think, in a long, long time. So we have 2 double blocks of summer school for our high school again this summer. And don't quote me on the dates, but I know it starts immediately after school's out for the first high school cohort for the high school, and it'll be about 3 or 4 weeks long, and then it'll go right into the second cohort. And again, that gives the high school students an opportunity to either catch up on credits if they need them, or get ahead so that they can take those dual credit opportunities while they're in high school and get college credits. So that's for the high school, and then the elementary and middle school level will have the extended 6-week session like we did last year as well. Yes.
How aggressive are you being with because I was very interested in what you said about the 8th graders could get up to 4 credits.
Yeah.
Okay, how can the children understand that if they get 4 credits toward high school, that means that they could go to the Career Center and accelerate that?
Right.
I mean, but what are we doing to, I mean, you can put it out there in the atmosphere, but what are we doing hands-on so that the children and the parents understand
Right.
the connection?
Well, we've had multiple parent meetings. We've had a good turnout. Hundreds of parents have come at those middle school levels so that the parents can understand and know, what the options are for their students. So we've given them lots of meetings, robocalls on the website, but we've bussed parents in if they need to. We're providing evening meals so they can have an open forum. We've had open houses at the Career Center as well for them to go and visit. But we're open to suggestions. But we've had lots of parent meetings over at the middle school level so that they can understand that there's opportunities for them to get not only a CTE pathway paid for and their high school diploma at the same time, and if they're continuing on with those credits each summer, they could graduate early or also get those dual credit opportunities and leave with an associate's degree.
So you're putting examples out for them?
Yes.
So that they can really grasp?
Yes, and students are speaking with them even too about their experiences. Great questions.
Chelsea.
Okay. So that's some good stuff. So, interesting enough, as we close out, I'm glad that we addressed a lot of things because social media can be a drag,
Right.
I can personally attest to that. And there has been a lot in the social media in regards to the protests and things of that nature, good and bad. I think good in the terms that students are being given the opportunity to understand that you matter. What you say matters. How you feel is also matters because the school is for our children.
Right.
So I appreciate you talking about the progress and actually allowing their voice to be heard. As humans, we want to be acknowledged and we want to be appreciated. I don't care who you are. And especially as a child, for me, it forms the type of adults that we become, especially within this culture. So with that, I just wanted to publicly express gratitude for that opportunity and the growth that's come out of it. And it's a lesson to us adults. It's one thing to sit back and complain about it. We can complain about it all day, but the objective is to create a solution. So what are you going to do to be the change? Okay, I'm done with that. But anyway, I wanted to take that opportunity and the privilege to address it and to let it be known that it's appreciated and keep doing what you're doing. And kids keep doing what you're doing. The community keep doing what we're doing. That's what we do on Mondays. We talk about it. We talk about those hard topics. We talk about what's going on in the community because ignorance can't be an excuse. We gotta put the information out there. No, everybody doesn't look at Facebook, but guess what? Anybody's welcome to come through these doors. We're open every day, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunday. Here at Jay's Breakfast Club, located at 3669 Broadway. If you can't get here, we can get to you. Just dial up DoorDash. Get through the internet, your phone, whatever. We can get to you. We can get some love to you. But here we are, Silver Monday, every Monday. Again, asking prayers for Rosie. I am Rosie Jr., aka Jocelyn Miss J. She'll be back shortly. Next week is our third Monday, and Dr. Seabrook will be talking health matters. Will be here. Last week we got some great things cooking in the pot based on our discussion. There's some good things brewing, so you wanna make sure you mark your calendar and you're here every Monday, beginning at 10 a.m. So, with all that said, thank you again, Dr. McNulty, Gary Community School Corporation representatives, and community for allowing us to be a part of your morning every Monday. So we'll see you next time here at Jay's Breakfast Club. Have a wonderful day.